UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres says a deal to restart Ukraine's grain shipments offers hope to the world during his visit to Turkey.
Another explosion is reported at the HQ of Russia's Black Sea Fleet in Crimea, with the Sevastopol governor claiming to have struck down a drone. 45,000 rail workers continue strike action in the UK, impacting football fans and festival goers across the country.
Greece is regaining control of its economy as the EU ends its enhanced surveillance policy almost 15 years after the country plunged into a financial crisis. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said Ukrainian grain shipments offer hope for the world during his visit to Turkey on Saturday. 25 ships have carried over 600,000 tonnes of grain since a deal was brokered between Ukraine and Russia in recent weeks, easing fears of a global food crisis as supply routes were blocked amid fighting in the Eastern European country.
I was in Odessa port and saw the first-hand the loading on a cargo of wheat onto a ship. I was so moved watching the wheat fill up the hold of the ship. It was the loading of hope for so many around the world. We are at the beginning of a much longer process, but you have already shown the potential of this critical agreement for the world.
Yesterday, Guterres visited Odessa, Ukraine's main port on the Black Sea, where he also called for financial aid for poorer countries facing food shortages. Ukraine's trading routes via Poland, Romania and Turkey faced disruption after Russia's invasion in February. But a landmark agreement means crucial grain shipments are now once again operating from the country's southern ports.
A Russian-appointed governor in Sevastopol in Crimea claims its defence shot down a drone circulating its Black Sea headquarters. Governor Mikhail Razvoltsayev told Telegram there was no significant damage or injuries, asking people to remain calm, that the city is under control and that authorities carried out operational services. The headquarters was subject to an attack back on July 31st, where explosives hit the premises, injuring 6 people in the process. Traditionally, Russia celebrates its Navy Day at the end of July, but festivities were quickly halted. In Russia, Defense Ministry spokesman Igor Konashenkov says that more than 100 militants, including 20 so-called US mercenaries, were killed in a high-precision airstrike by the Russian aerospace forces near Avdiivka in Ukraine's Kharkiv region. Next Wednesday, however, marks Ukraine's Independence Day, where the country broke away from the Soviet Union in 1991. As part of those celebrations this year, destroyed Russian tanks are being displayed in Kiev ahead of August 24th. Football fans and festival goers in the UK are among those affected with ongoing travel disruptions this weekend, as more than 45,000 rail workers took part in further strikes over pay and work conditions. It's the third day of strike action in the past week, with the London Underground staff staging walkouts across its stations. According to Network Rail, only 1 in 5 trains are in operation across all of England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. RMT union leader Mick Lynch says there will be further strike action in the foreseeable future. Transport Secretary Grant Shapps has tabled a pay rise offer to unions, but has since been refused. But the strikes have not just been carried out by rail workers, and if anything, are gaining sympathy from other sectors. This Sunday, workers at the port of Felixstowe in the east of England, the largest freight port in the country, will begin an 8-day strike, threatening to bring the UK's economy to a further standstill.
Almost 15 years after Greece plunged into a financial crisis, the country is regaining control of its economy as the European Union ends its enhanced surveillance policy. The bloc had carried out quarterly assessments of Greece's public finances in exchange for debt relief payments after the nation suffered a huge recession from 2009.
These last 3 years constitute, in practice, a response to the lessons of the last 12 years. They show the way that we never, ever go back to what we have lived through. They forge our self-awareness, and they urge us to move ahead united, armed with the truth and realistic solutions.
The end of the EU's enhanced surveillance will allow Greece greater freedom over its budget, as it, along with the rest of Europe, struggles with the rising cost of living and energy prices. However, the country will continue to pay back loans until 2070.
Austria is experiencing extremely heavy rainfall. In the west of the country, like here in Wolfurt, meteorologists reported record amounts of rainfall in the past 24 hours. Firefighters and locals alike are working tirelessly to pick up fallen trees and clear flooded roads, as best they can. Over 1,500 mudslides were recorded, making the cleanup job even more difficult. These mudslides led to numerous flooding of villages and roads. A large section of the A14 motorway along the Rhine Valley had to be closed for many hours, causing motorists to take alternative routes in the severe conditions. Rainfall did stop around midnight, and luckily no injuries have been reported.
A standoff is underway in Somalia's capital of Mogadishu after Islamist militants stormed a hotel and killed at least 20 people. Security forces have rescued dozens from the building, including children, but an unconfirmed number of attackers remain inside with hostages almost 24 hours after the siege began. The militants are part of Al-Shabaab, a jihadist group that said its members were carrying out random shootings after using explosives to enter the hotel, which is popular with members of the federal government. As hospitals treat those wounded in the attack, loved ones of people still unaccounted for are gathering near the building, waiting for answers. The hotel siege is one of Somalia's deadliest terror attacks in recent years, with local reports claiming the official death toll could rise further.
A passenger bus collided with emergency teams handling an earlier road accident in southern Turkey, leaving at least 15 people dead and nearly 24 injured. 3 firefighters, 2 paramedics and 2 journalists were among those killed on the highway between Gaziantep and Nizip. Turkey has a poor record of road safety. Some 5,362 people were killed in traffic accidents last year.
Members of South Africa's ethnic Zulu nation are celebrating the coronation of their new king. Mr. Zulu Zwelithini was crowned king of the Zulus, which is the country's largest ethnic group with over 12 million people. The traditional ceremony saw war dances and songs performed before the king made his appearance.
There has been outrage in Greece after 3 bears, one of which was still nursing her babies, have been killed in the past month. All 3 crimes were committed in a protected area near Florina, in the country's northwest.
By putting the matter out in the open, as well as by mobilising the authorities, we hope this will put an end to this criminal action. And it's good that such actions no longer go unpunished. So the perpetrators, or those who carry out such criminal actions against an animal, which is protected by Greek and European legislation, stop such activities. And of course, everyone will be aware that such actions do not go unpunished.
Environmentalists say the bears could have been killed for illegible biodiversity reasons.
We do not believe that it's fear per se. The killing of the bears could be seen as a preventative action that was taken, not to damage agricultural or livestock capital, which is even more disturbing and infuriating.
There are at least 700 brown bears living in the wild in Greece. The protected species roams the forests and mountains in the north. Greece's Deputy Environment and Energy Minister says the ministry is in direct cooperation with the Greek police to resolve the cases. We will do everything in our power to protect the mammal's population. The bears were shot with a firearm. One leaves behind now orphaned young. A total of 4 bears have been killed so far this year. Environmental groups fear the killings will not only continue, but lead to the deaths of more protected species.